welcome to the channel. Maybe light a candle, lie down, close your eyes, and if you'd like, just listen. There was once a town, not too big, not too small, tucked between a valley and a hill. It had no name, because everyone who lived there never needed one. They just called it our town, and that was enough. Now, this town had a strange rule. Every evening, when the sun dipped low behind the trees, someone had to light the sky. Not the stars, not the moon, but the sky itself. Soft strokes of glowing blue and gold, as if dawn had reversed itself and returned just for one last bow. You see, every home had a small chimney, not for smoke, but for light. And every evening, just as the bells rang 3 soft chimes, tiny threads of warmth and color rose from those chimneys, carried by the wind, and somehow they wove themselves into the sky above. The person responsible for this was the lamplighter. Not a job, not a title, but a quiet role passed down like bread recipes or lullabies. And the current lamplighter was a man named Elias. Elias was older than most, but younger than time. He never rushed, never shouted. Each evening, he walked the cobbled streets, carrying a satchel made of stitched-together leather and velvet. Inside it, little vials of light. Not fire, not oil, but something gentler, like the warmth of memory. He'd pour just a drop into the chimney of each home, then gently whisper something. No one ever heard what, and the light would rise, slow and soft, as if the house itself had just remembered something beautiful. People loved Elias, not because he was powerful, but because he made things feel okay. There's something quietly heroic about those who carry peace in their pockets. One evening, a child named Mira asked him, "Why do you light the sky every night?" He paused, smiled gently, and replied, "So we never forget that even darkness is color." That night, Mira looked up and noticed the light in the sky wasn't perfect. It swirled and bent and faded in some corners, but it was always there. So far, if this little story has made you feel a little softer inside, maybe consider liking the video or subscribing to the channel for more stories like this. Now, back to the story. Okay, moving on to the next part. The sky, for the first time in many seasons, was empty. Not black, just blank, like someone had taken a brush and quietly wiped the light away. There was no thunder, no storm, just silence, and a sky that forgot how to glow. That evening, after the 3 chimes echoed through the valley, people waited by their chimneys. Some of them stood barefoot on cold stone floors. Some clutched mugs of broth. Others held hands, thinking surely Elias would appear, late maybe, but not absent. But he didn't. Mira, the little girl with the ribbon always half-tied in her hair, stood at her window and watched. She whispered the words Elias had once said to her. Even darkness is color. But tonight, the dark felt colorless. By midnight, the town had grown unusually quiet. Even the dogs had stopped barking. Even the wind tiptoed instead of howling. And yet, nobody panicked. There was no fear in the air. Just a strange ache, like something beautiful had been misplaced. The next morning, Mira woke before dawn. She wrapped the scarf twice around her neck, pulled on her father's old coat, and walked the path toward the woods. Elias's house was small and covered in moss. The door was open, not in a hurry, just left open like a forgotten sentence. Inside, she found his satchel sitting on the chair, and near it, resting beneath a folded piece of cloth, a note. It said, "Light belongs to no one, but we carry it until someone else remembers how." Mira read the note once, then again. She didn't cry. She didn't run. She simply picked up the satchel, held it to her chest, and walked back down the hill. That evening, when the bells rang 3 times, Mira climbed onto a stool beside her family's chimney. Her hand shook a little. The vial of light inside the satchel looked like morning sunshine caught in honey. She poured just a drop, whispered nothing, because she didn't know what to say, and watched. The light didn't rise immediately. It paused, then shimmered, then climbed slowly into the air, like it was remembering how to be light again. Her neighbors watched from behind windows. Then one by one, other children ran to their chimneys, borrowing the light from Myra's satchel. Their parents followed. Elders who hadn't lit anything in years shuffled toward their rooftops with soft cloths and careful fingers. It was messy. Some lights flickered. Some drifted sideways. One boy accidentally poured his on a cat, which glowed orange for several minutes and wandered off looking entirely unbothered. But still, the sky began to change. Not instantly, but slowly, gently, the colors returned. Not as smooth as before, not as elegant, but warmer, because now the light belonged to everyone. That night, the streets filled with a kind of quiet excitement. People shared small lanterns, told stories about the first time they saw the sky glow as children, sang old songs they hadn't touched in years. Even silence felt fuller, like it was smiling too. Mira stood on her porch, watching the patchy sky above, and felt something shift inside her. Not like a lesson learned, but like something deeply remembered. That was the first night after Elias. But it wasn't the last. In the weeks that followed, the townspeople created their own rhythms. Each family was given one night a month to start the sky. Children would write new, light words to whisper into the chimneys. Some folks began shaping their light into symbols. Birds, clouds, tiny flickering poems. There was a baker named Laya who only lit her chimney after dusting her bread with cinnamon, claiming that sweetness makes the light rise higher. There was an old man who played a flute from his rooftop, and the lights near him always seemed to dance. And Mira, she became the town's keeper of the satchel, passing on each night with a bow, a smile, and a reminder the sky is always watching. Give it something lovely to reflect. And you know what's strange? After a while, people stopped missing Elias. Not out of disrespect, but because he never really left. He had just passed the light on and trusted it would be remembered. You see, the real magic of lighting the sky wasn't the satchel or the chimneys or the vials of light. It was in the decision to light something, even when it seemed easier to leave the sky dark. It was in the choice to continue, together, to carry a ritual not because it was easy, but because it made the world softer and reminded everyone light can come from many places, even from you. If this story helped you slow down or warmed a small corner of your night, consider liking the video and maybe subscribing to this little candlelit channel so we can meet here again in quiet places with soft stories and open skies. Until then, sleep gently, dream kindly, and remember, even darkness is color.